Space was never quiet. Not anymore. For nearly 100 years, war had spread across galaxies. Civilizations had fallen. Stars had been turned into weapons. Billions had died. They called it the Blood War, and at the center of it all stood one. Name Vraxxons. These were not just aliens. They were monsters with scales of steel, minds like computers, and no fear of death. They had destroyed the Talari Republic, swallowed the Myrn Empire, crushed every planet that stood in their way. Now they had arrived at Earth. The humans knew they were next. Every warning satellite near the edge of the solar system had gone silent. United Earth Command ordered all fleets to return. Even Mars stations were evacuated. From space, Earth looked peaceful. But beneath that calm, the whole planet was preparing for its last day. "We have incoming," said Admiral Karen Holt aboard the command ship Saber 1. Her face was calm, but her eyes showed fear. "How many?" asked Commander Dax. Her second-in-command, too. 1,000 enemy ships, Fraxon class, all heading straight for Earth orbit. A silence fell over the bridge, not the silence of peace, but of helplessness. They all knew the stories. One Varaxan fleet had wiped out an entire moon base in 20 seconds, and now 2,000. But something strange happened. The Varaxan fleet stopped. Not a single ship fired. They floated in orbit like statues in the black sky. They single quotes, "Re-dot." "Just sitting there," a young officer said, his voice shaking. "Are they charging weapons?" "No. No energy spikes. No shield rays. They're doing nothing." Everyone watched the screens, waiting for the first blast. Waiting for Earth's sky to turn red. Instead, a signal came through. Not a video, not a voice, just a single line. Of text in perfect English, "We surrender to humanity." The command center was silent. No one moved. "Is this some kind of trick?" Dax asked. Holt shook her head. "Run scans. Check for cloaked weapons, energy pulses, anything." They scanned, again and again. Nothing. Another message came through. "We do not seek fight. We seek forgiveness. Please, do not unleash the One." Again, everyone stared. "The One?" Someone whispered. "What are they talking about?" There was no answer, only silence. The same kind of silence that comes before a storm or after a nightmare. News spread across Earth in hours. Every screen, every channel. Every radio buzzed with the same impossible truth. The Vraxans had surrendered. But no one knew why. They hadn't lost any battle, had more ships, more weapons, more soldiers, and yet they had bowed world leaders. Called emergency meetings. Scientists tried to guess what the Vraxans meant. Some believed it was a bluff. Others thought maybe Earth had some unknown defense. But the real question was, who was the One? No record in any database. No secret file in any archive. The name did not exist anywhere. And yet, the galaxy's deadliest species feared it. That night, Admiral Holt stood alone on the observation deck of Saber 1, staring at the Vraxan fleet still floating above Earth. A voice behind her spoke. "Ma'am, should we respond to their surrender?" She didn't turn. Her eyes were locked on the stars. "No," she said, "not yet. Let them wonder if we will." Below on Earth, people began to celebrate. No war, no death. The Blood War. ... over. But in the shadows, deep inside a black site bunker in Antarctica, an old AI security system flickered to life. One red light turned on. "File accessed. Project silence. Warning. Level 10 clearance required. Do not wake the SUBJ-CTC somewhere." Far below the ice, a human body lay frozen in a cryo chamber. His eyes were closed. His skin was untouched by time, and then just for a moment his fingers moved. Sector was a dead place. No light from nearby stars. No sound. No life. Captain Marlowe Rayner had seen many parts of space, but this place felt wrong to quiet. His salvage ship, Wanderer's Debt, floated through the darkness, scanning the wreckage of what looked like a massive alien battle. Twisted metal, broken hulls, drifting bodies frozen in space. They were Varaxan ships, dozens of them, all destroyed. "Don't like this," said Juno, the ship's AI crackling in the cockpit speakers. "There's no sign of a fight, no plasma burns, no weapon damage. Just ... collapse." "Keep scanning," Marlowe said. "There's always something worth salvaging, even in a graveyard." As they moved deeper into the wreckage field, Marlowe's ship found something strange, a small Varaxan scout pod. Still intact, wedged between two larger cruisers. It was shielded, sealed tight. "Juno, is that a black box signal I'm picking up?" "Yes, but it's encrypted with something weird. Not standard Varaxan code. Bring it in carefully." Back on the ship, Marlowe stood over the recovered black box. It was smooth, black metal, humming faintly with a red pulse. "What do you think, Juno?" "It's part recording device, part memory core, and there's something else. Human tech mixed inside it." "What?" "Yeah, human design. Deep. Inside the structure. Old tech, though. Maybe 50 years. Marlowe frowned. A human-built device inside a Varaxan black box. That made no sense. He connected it to the decryption unit. The message began to play. The screen lit up with a blurry image of a Varaxan warlord, one of the high generals. He looked terrified. His voice shook as he spoke in broken human tongue. "We tried to resist. We launched everything. Missiles. Mind strike cannons. Psychic squads. Nothing worked. He walked through it all. No armor, no ship. Just walking. He said one word. Only one. My brothers fell, one by one. We can't fight this. We can't understand it. He is not weapon. He's something else. A mistake. A curse. A message from Earth. Leave us alone, please. Do not make him wake again." The recording ended. Marlowe sat in silence. "Who the hell is he?" he whispered. That night, while reviewing the box again, Marlowe found a damaged file. It had no sound, no image, just a name. Project Silence Subject. Juno. His eyes widened. Juno ... "Did you know you were part of this?" The AI paused. ... "No. But that would explain the gaps in my original code. There are locked layers. In my memory banks, human-made. I never understood why." Marlowe stood up. "We're going back. Earth has to see this." But before they could jump to hyperspace, an emergency alarm went off. "Enemy ship detected," Juno shouted. "Varaxan. Interceptor. Cloaked." Marlowe grabbed the controls and twisted the ship. A green beam shot past the hull. "They want that black box back," he said through gritted teeth. "I'm activating evasive maneuvers." The Wanderer's deck spun through debris, dodging fire. Sparks flew inside the cockpit.
"L1 hit clip."
"The engine? We won't make it unless we drop mass," Juno warned. Marlowe looked at the black box. He hesitated, then strapped it into the emergency drone. "Send it home. Priority code. Deliver to United Earth Command, and you." The AI asked all by it time. He fired the drone into hyperspace and turned the ship toward the enemy. 2 days later, small drone crash-landed at Earth's moonbase Alpha, inside the black box. Inside the box, a name, Juno. The same name hidden beneath Antarctica. The same name the Varaxans feared. And now, Earth knew he wasn't just AI. He was once something more. The United Earth Command had one rule that no one ever questioned. Never enter Omega Lab. It was shut down 50 years ago. Officially, it never existed. But after the black box from Sector 3 Zeta arrived, everything changed. Deep below Antarctica's ice, a secret team of elite operatives landed near an old facility, buried, frozen, and forgotten by most of Earth. The base had no power, no signs of life. But something inside had just woken up. "I thought this place was sealed forever," whispered Agent Silva, wiping frost from her helmet. "Me too," said Commander Rian, leading the squad. But Command gave orders. "Go in. We find the source of that name, Juno. Doors were covered in thick ice. But the moment Silva touched the control pad, the ice cracked, and the door opened on its own. It's like it was waiting for us, she said. They stepped inside. The lab's walls were lined with steel and frost. Long-dead monitors flickered weakly to life as the team moved through the corridors. Power is returning, said Rion. How? I don't know, Silva said, but we're not alone in here. Down one hallway they found claw marks. Across the walls, something strong had been inside and had tried to escape. Then they reached the control room, old data pads. Empty coffee mugs, notes written in rushed handwriting. One file was still glowing on the central monitor. Project Silence. Final status. Lockdown warning. Do not wake subject reason. Unstable response to commands. Here it is, Silva whispered. Project Silence. They read the logs. A human created in a lab. Designed to be a weapon. No guns. No armor. Just a voice that could break ships. Presence that made enemies lose control of their minds. His name was Juno. But something went wrong. He became too powerful. Too unpredictable. He was sealed in cryosleep and hidden deep beneath the world, so no one could use him again. Commander, Silva said, her voice tense. What do we do now? Before Rion could answer, an alarm echoed through the lab. Doors slammed shut. Red lights flashed. A robotic voice spoke from hidden speakers. Cryo-containment breach chamber. O1 subject active, they ran. Down into the lowest level of the lab, where the chamber was kept behind layers of glass and metal. But when they arrived, the chamber was open. Steam rose from it. The pod was empty, and there, sitting calmly on the floor, was a man. Pale skin. Short dark hair. Eyes closed. Wearing only a simple medical uniform, he looked completely normal. Silva raised her weapon. Don't move. His eyes opened. The room went cold. Not from the ice, but from something deeper. Something unnatural. Are you? Juno, Rian asked. The man looked at them. Not angry, not scared, just confused. I think so, he said quietly. That name feels familiar. You were locked in here. Do you remember why? Juno stood. Up. His movements were smooth. Too smooth. No, I don't remember anything. Just a lot of silence, darkness, dreams of war. The lights flickered. The computers around the room started to buzz. Then spark, Commander, Silva said. Our comms are down. He's disrupting our systems just by speaking. Juno stepped forward, but not in anger. Please, he said. I don't know who I am, but I think something's coming. Something. Afraid of me. Before they could respond, a transmission forced its way into the lab. Not from Earth. From a Vraxan battleship in orbit. Earth Command, respond. We sense the awakening. You mean no harm. Please contain the being. Do not let him speak again. The signal ended in static. Everyone looked at Juno. He looked back quiet, calm, and very human. But something inside him was not. Above Earth, the Vraxan ships began to retreat. Not because of fear from Earth's military, but because he had opened. His eyes, Juno sat in the center of the cold lab, surrounded by soldiers who didn't lower their guns even, though he showed no sign of attack. He didn't remember his name. He didn't remember his purpose. But every second he was awake, machines around him glitched, cameras died, and digital clocks began to count backward. He's not just a man, Silva whispered. He's something made. Commander Rion stepped forward carefully. Juno. Listen to me, you've been in cryosleep for 50 years. Do you know why? Juno looked down at his hands. I remember flashes. At war. Screaming, my voice, causing pain. His voice was soft, calmed. The lab lights dimmed slightly when he spoke. Rion looked at Silva. She nodded. We're taking you to Lunar Command. They need to see you. Will I be locked up again? Juno asked. No one answered as the shuttle rose into the sky. Juno looked out the window. Earth shrank behind them. The moon came into view. orbiting it, the massive United Earth Command Station Luna Base Prime. But as they approached, something happened. Warning lights flashed inside. The shuttle. "What is that?" Rian asked. The pilot's voice came through, panicked. "The station's AI just shut down. We've lost all approach signals. They're blind." Silva looked at Juno. He wasn't touching anything. He wasn't doing anything. But the station's systems were failing because of him. They landed manually inside Luna Base. Officers stood frozen as doors refused to open. Monitors displayed strange symbols, and automated weapons refused to respond. Juno stepped off the ship, calm and silent. Wherever he walked, systems flickered, then died. In the central briefing room, Admiral Holt watched from a one-way window. "He looks human," said her advisor. "But the data says he's not even born. He was ... built." "Project Silence," Holt whispered. "They didn't make a weapon. They made a presence, a living warning." Juno entered the room. Holt stepped in. "You've caused a lot of panic," she said. "I didn't mean to," Juno replied. "Then what do you mean to do?" Juno looked at her slowly. "Remember, that's all. I feel like something terrible is coming. I'm the only one who can stop it. But first, I need to remember who I was." Holt nodded to her team. They led Juno into a high-security chamber where a memory device and neural mirror was prepared, a machine that could unlock old brain patterns. "If he's lying, this will show us," Holt said. "And if he's telling the truth." Someone asked. Tote didn't answer. Juno lay in the chair. The neural mirror powered on. Memories rushed in. Explosions, starships, alien voices begging for mercy. His own voice speaking words he couldn't now understand but back. Then they were deadly. He saw himself walk through a battlefield. Weapons stopped working. Enemies fell, not from wounds, but from fear, from broken minds. He saw himself standing alone in front of a Vraxan fleet. He spoke one word, and the entire fleet vanished. Juno gasped. The machine shut down. Sparks flew. The room shook. "Admiral." Holt stepped forward. "What did you see?" "Everything," Juno said. His voice was different now, heavier. "They made me to be a message, a threat. Earth was tired of war, so they made me. Not to kill but to remind." "Remind who?" "The galaxy." Suddenly a communication alarm blared across Luna Base. "Incoming." "Message from Vraxan's Supreme Command," a voice said. The screen lit up. A massive alien face appeared. Eyes wide with fear. "Earth Command. We sense the awakening. Ask no, we beg. Do not let him speak again. We will retreat. We'll never return. Just keep him silent." The message ended. No threats, no weapons. Just a plea. Juno stood, looking out at space. "They're afraid of me," he whispered. Silva asked the one question no one wanted to say aloud. "Juno, are you a hero or something else?" He didn't answer, because even he didn't know yet. The stars outside Luna Base were quiet, too quiet, since Juno woke up. Vaxans had done something unthinkable. They stopped all movement near Earth. No scouts, no messages, no attacks. They were watching, waiting. And for the first time in history, aliens feared humans. Inside the command center, Admiral Holt called a secret meeting. Only top-level officers were allowed. The room was dark. No digital devices, no recorders. Old paper files were brought out, the kind no one had used in decades. She placed a thick black folder on the table. Its title: Silence Protocol Status. Classified eyes-only level. Extreme Human Threat Project Silence wasn't just an experiment. It was our last defense plan. Built when the Blood War reached Earth's doorstep. She opened the file. Inside were pictures of Juno hooked to machines, eyes glowing, speaking strange symbols as scientists watched in awe, ... and fear. He wasn't made to fight, she said. He was made to be seen, to speak once, and end wars. Commander Rian leaned forward. "So how does it work? How can his voice make ships crash? How can aliens feel pain just by hearing him?" Dr. Lena, the last living scientist from the project, spoke. Because he's not just human. He was fused with something, beyond. She explained years ago, humans found an alien frequency, a cosmic pattern older than stars. It affected minds. Even machines. They called it the deep code. It couldn't be understood. But when placed inside a human neural system, it created a weapon no one could explain. Juno was that weapon. He doesn't destroy, Dr. Lena said. He changes how others see the universe. Their minds collapse. Systems glitch. Ships fail. Fear spreads like a virus. And why did you shut him down? Silva asked. Because he started changing us too. Juno was kept under cryo because his power wasn't just a threat to aliens. The more he remembered, the more unstable Earth. Systems became. Now, with him awake, Earth satellites had started to glitch. AI assistants whispered strange words. Even Earth's moon base suffered memory resets. He was a message too strong to be read. Elsewhere in the station, Juno stood alone by a window. He stared at the stars. He could feel the galaxy watching him. He whispered a word, not loud, not aimed at anyone, just a thought. And somewhere, across space, a Vraxan destroyer powered down and began to drift. Silva approached quietly. You said you wanted to remember? I do, Juno said. But it's painful. I was never meant to exist. She sat beside him. You're not a mistake. You're a reason. The war ended because of you. Juno didn't smile, just asked, and what happens if I don't want to be that reason anymore? Suddenly alarms blared. Unknown vessel approaching. Fast. No ID. Admiral Holt ran to the control center. Is it Vraxan? No. Signal is Terran. It's one of ours but unregistered. The ship hailed them. Luna Base. This is Black Echo 9. Carrying survivors from Station Theta. Request. Urgent docking. We are under pursuit. Pursuit by who? The voice replied. Something we've never seen before. Something that's not afraid of Juno. The room went silent. Because in the heart of the galaxy, something else had felt his awakening, and it was coming. The Black Echo 9 arrived, damaged. With scorch marks on its hull and half its lights flickering, it docked at Luna Base quietly, too quietly. Inside, only 3 survivors were found. The rest of the crew had vanished without a trace. Commander Rian and Agent Silva met the lead survivor in the med bay. His name was Lieutenant Raul, his eyes wide with fear, his voice shaking. They didn't die, he whispered. They forgot. Forgot what? Silva asked who they were, who I was, even how to breathe. One by one, their minds just emptied. At the same time, strange things began happening across the galaxy. On a Vraxan temple ship orbiting, the red moon of Drakes, the priests of the ancient order, began to scream during meditation. Visions flooded their minds. Memories they had never seen before. A dark room. A human figure. A voice. They could not understand, but could not forget. They had been told Earth was dangerous. But now they remembered why. The high priest of the Vraxan sat before his elders. Shaking, we were made to forget him, he confessed. Asterisk, the humans. Erase the memory from our people. Now that he is awake, the curse is lifting. Asterisk, the Vraxans didn't call it Project Silence. They called it the Voice of Ending. Back on Luna Base. Admiral Holt received a new encrypted message from the Galactic Council, normally proud and cold. Their words were now full of fear. We urge Earth to put the subject back into cryo. The memory curse has returned. Minds are collapsing. Starships are failing. If he continues to awaken, something far worse will come. What do they mean, something worse? Commander Rian asked. Holt didn't answer. Instead, she turned to Dr. Lena. The old scientist finally told them the hidden truth. Juno was not the only one created. She opened another secret file. Project Silence. Subject to code name Obel Alive, I Alive So. Toe name Subject 2 didn't just influence minds. He erased them completely. We tried to make a backup, Lena said. a stronger version. But it broke. Containment. They sealed it in deep space. Erased all records. Buried the location in black code. Now, with Juno awake, Subject 2 might be waking up to in a cold room of Luna Base. Juno stood quietly, alone. He had heard the whispers in his sleep now. They were louder. He looked in the mirror and spoke softly. Oblivion. You're still out there. Suddenly, alarms rang again. New signal detected. Long-range transmission from deep space, Nanraxin, non-human, code unknown. The audio came through. It was full of static. Then a broken voice. We, were your mirror. You gave us life. Now we return, to finish the silence. Admiral Holt's face turned pale. That's not the Vraxins, she said. That's him. Juno stared into space, his eyes glowing faintly now. He remembers me. Across the galaxy, Vraxin fleets were collapsing not from attack, but from fear. Pilots abandoned ships. Leaders fled to unknown systems. Some went mad, screaming in languages they had never learned. The memory curse was spreading, and Earth stood at the center of it. Silva entered the observation room and looked at Juno. What happens now? Juno replied, his voice colder than before. I was built to stop wars. Oblivion was made to erase the reason for war. They tried to use us as tools, but we were never meant to stay quiet. Can you stop him? She asked. Juno turned to her slowly. I don't know. He's the part of me they feared too much to keep. Outside Luna Base, a ripple in space, opened a dark scar, where light bent and time slowed. Something was coming through. Not a ship, not a signal. A presence. Luna Base shook with a low, deep hum. Not from engines or weapons, but from space itself. A rift had opened near the moon's orbit. It wasn't a wormhole or any known form of travel. It was like the fabric of space had been torn, and something was looking through. Juno stood near the observation deck, eyes fixed on the growing black scar in space. He's coming, he whispered. Behind him, Silva and Commander Rian watched in silence. In the command room, Admiral Holt faced the hard truth. This isn't war anymore, she said. This is something older, something we should have never touched. Dr. Lena nodded. We split Juno into two parts, one to speak, one to erase. But even apart, they were never meant to exist without each other. What does Oblivion want now? Rian asked. To complete the silence, Juno said, walking in. He wasn't built to stop war. It was built to erase all memory of conflict, of people, of entire species. Transmission from the rift continued, now clearer. Juno, you were weak. You remembered mercy. I will not. Together we were. Perfect. Apart. We are broken. I have come to fix us. Juno closed his eyes. Flashes of ancient labs. Screaming scientists. Earth leaders arguing. He remembered now. The silence protocol wasn't about peace. It was about control. I don't want to be what they made me, Juno said quietly. Silva stepped closer. Then don't. Choose your own way. You're human enough to do that. And for the first time, he smiled. Just a little. The lights dimmed across Luna Base. Every machine stopped responding. Even Juno's presence couldn't control it, because Oblivion had entered the system. A massive shadow formed outside the rift. Not a ship. It's not a being. It looked like a man tall, faceless, glowing with pale fire, subject to the end of memory. Oblivion, he spoke. Not through speakers, but inside every mind. Your memories are mistakes. Let me clean them. Let me set you free. One by one, people collapsed. Not from pain, but from forgetting who they were. Their names, their families, even their purpose. Juno gritted his teeth. He's doing it. The final stage. Admiral Holt gave the order. Juno, it's your choice. Fight him. Or we all disappear. Juno stepped onto the outer deck, exposed to space, but shielded by invisible fields. He looked up at the giant form of Oblivion. You think forgetting ends pain? Juno said. No, Oblivion replied. I know it does. But memory is what makes us human, Juno answered. Oblivion lifted his hand. Space twisted. Juno closed his eyes. He reached deep inside, past his code, past his training, past the voice of destruction they built into him. He reached for something simple. A choice. He didn't speak a command. He didn't release power. He whispered, "Remember me." And light burst from his body, not to destroy, but to restore. Every collapsing mind on Luna Base snapped back. Earth systems rebooted, even distant. Braxton priests fell to their knees, not in fear, but in clarity. They remembered everything. The humans made them forget, and they wept. Oblivion staggered in space. His form began to crack. You were supposed to forget mercy, he growled. I chose it, Juno said. They didn't give it to me. I took it, Oblivion screamed. And, with one final pulse of light, he vanished into the rift. And it closed. Silence returned. True silence, no alarms, no fear, just peace. Juno stood, weakened but alive. Silva rushed to him. You stopped him? No, he said. I remembered him, and now he's part of me again. She looked confused. So, are you Juno or Oblivion now? Juno smiled faintly. I'm just a man who finally got to choose. Peace had returned, but not the same peace Earth once knew. Across the galaxy, ships once pointed toward Earth were now turning away. Armies disbanded. Plans of invasion were canceled. War leaders entered hiding. Everyone had seen it. The rift. The shadow called Oblivion. And the human weapon Juno, who faced it and won. But it wasn't his power that scared them. It was his choice, in Luna Base. Juno now sat in silence, staring at the stars. No guards, no cell, no chains, because they all knew. If he wanted to leave, nothing could stop him. Commander Rion entered the room, holding a small datapad. The Galactic Council is demanding answers, he said. They want to know if you're still dangerous. Juno looked at the stars. I was never dangerous, he replied. I was a warning, a voice that just never listened. Back on Earth, people called Juno many names now. The Peaceborn, the last weapon, the voice of ending the man who unmade fear. But Juno didn't. He'd only wanted one thing. He only wanted one thing, freedom. Admiral Holt met with the Council via secure transmission. The Vraxan leader appeared on screen, not as a warrior, not as a conqueror, but as a student, ready to listen. We once feared humans because we didn't understand them, he said. Now we kneel because we finally do. Another alien diplomat spoke. He did not destroy us. He changed us. That is power beyond weapons. Holt leaned forward. Then remember this. Humans don't seek control. But if pushed, we remind the galaxy who we really are. Later on a quiet night near Luna's horizon, Juno stood beside Silva. They watched the stars in silence. They'll fear you forever, she said. Let them, he replied. It's better than them trying again. What will you do now? He smiled. Speak once more. Just once, then never again. And he did. One final broadcast. A message sent across every known system. In every language, in every form. It's every mind, not a threat, not a warning. Just a truth. We did not survive because we were strong. We survived because we remembered what others chose to forget. Mercy, memory, and meaning. You feared our weapons, but you never heard our words. Now you have. Stay silent, and we will too. The stars didn't shake, but they listened. Across galaxies. Worlds bowed not out of fear, but out of respect. Even the most powerful creatures, the blood drinkers of Orion, the void beasts of Trezol, the metal minds of Halon 6, they all paused. Because they finally understood humanity's greatest weapon was never war. It was a single voice. A voice that broke the stars. Some say Juno left for the edge of the galaxy, where no maps go. Others believe he walks Earth's surface, living quietly, among the people who made him. And some say he waits, not to destroy, but to remind.